All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How are you doing? What's going on? Good to see you all. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Sunday afternoon, or evening, or morning, wherever you are. And we have folks on Rockfin. Good number of folks on Rockfin. That's cool. And then some people on the YouTube. Yeah. And we're also live on Callin. Callin is an app where you can call into the show. Okay, let's get going. Some interesting stories to cover, and I'm going to try and get to all of them as best I can in an hour show. We're talking about this and that. We talk about various things on this show. It's all right. An hour is a short time. I'm finding, more and more I'm finding out that an hour is a short time. I wish that I had time to do like a 3 hour show every day. Or maybe not. Maybe you don't need that much time to present information. I just think it's not enough time to talk about all the things that I want to talk about. All the things that are interesting to me and that are interesting going on in the world, right? Because there's a lot going on. Even if you want to just take climate change, just that single subject alone, you could spend a lot of time talking about all the various components and reasons and everything that's going on with climate change. It's a very complicated story. There are lots of facets to it, right? So anyways, we'll start with this. Professor Elliot Jacobson to the Hopists among us, including Michael Mann and Catherine Hayhoe. Your optimistic messages of hope increase complacency. You are making things worse. You know how to read peer-reviewed papers. Is this what you want? And he's got an just a screenshot from of an abstract from a article, Science Direct, saying anyways, participants read an optimistic, pessimistic, or neutral message about the rate of progress in reducing global carbon emissions relative to the pessimistic message. The optimistic message reduced participants' sense that climate change represented a risk to them. So this is a study that was done that measured people's responses to certain kinds of news about climate change. Okay? And this is what they found. Consequently, the optimistic message was less successful in increasing mitigation motivation than the pessimistic message. Hey, chalk one up for the doomers. Cha-ching. You're not supposed to get people scared. You're not supposed to really get, sometimes I find, and I don't mean this in a nasty, mean way, but sometimes I find that you have to actually, to get somebody's attention, you really have to get in their face. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Because people are asleep. People are in a trance. People are complacent. People are comfortable. And that actually even goes for me too. I get comfortable and complacent. And sometimes it takes a little bit of jarring reality to get me to go. All right. In sum, predictions that the optimistic message would increase efficacy did not transpire. Concerns that the optimistic message would increase complacency did transpire. Recent progress in curbing global carbon emissions is welcome. But we found no evidence that messages focusing on the progress constitute an effective communication strategy. Well, there you go. That's just a summation of what they found about messaging. But you don't want to make people upset. You don't want to get people worried or nervous or have them think about, there's a lot of people out there that are like, I don't want to think about it. I just try not to pay attention. Then everything's better if I don't think about it. The point is to be uncomfortable. And really, that's the only way we learn, isn't it? Um, okay, I'll retract that. That's not the only way we learn. But that is one of the ways that we learn in life is to feel some discomfort, right? Because if we were only comfortable, we would never learn anything, and we would actually devolve as a species, while we're devolving in our own personal lives, right? If you're only comfortable all the time. But I find that, things go wrong and things go right in life. But I find that the discomfort is just as valuable of a learning tool. It's a very valuable learning tool, right? So you might actually have to welcome some discomfort in your life in order to move on to a higher level, a higher plane of understanding or movement or action or agency, right? Anyways, that's a good post from Professor Elliot Jacobson. Did you guys even see that at all? I think you did. Let's move on to Peter Dines. We are going to get to some. We're going to get a little bit of the FTX. So the FTX story has some legs. Let me tell you. It keeps getting weirder every day. It's been a wild week in the world of crypto, but the FTX story is actually now starting to. It's so wild. It's starting to go outside of crypto. And actually, earlier this week, I made some speculations and I connected some dots. Just kind of offhand and an offhand comment, and my speculations were correct. They're starting to look correct, right? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Anyways, whatever. Anyways, it's just the news, whatever. All right, let's keep going. Peter Dines, the greenwashing line, we have just enough time to act on carbon budgets, etc., is a false and dangerous narrative. He's picking up what the professor is putting down. There's way too much warming already locked in at this point to ignore the urgent need for thermal mitigation alongside radical consumption and emissions reductions. Exactly. We need to radically upend the entire way that we live on the planet. And there are plenty of people out there in libertarian land and truther land and all that are like, well, these people are crazy. They're trying to tell you that you just can't live this way anymore. The way that we have never lived on the planet for thousands of years, only for the last century, right? We live in a radically different way, right? If you go back even 150 years, the way we live now is radically different than the way that we mostly lived for millennia, right? So what we're doing now is the radical thing. And to suggest that maybe we should stop doing that radical thing is not crazy. It's actually quite intelligent, or at least exhibit some wisdom. So the people that think that we can keep this radical way of living that we are doing right now, that is normalcy, those are the people that are not in touch with reality. Those people are not in touch with reality. Because reality is actually not, the way we're living is unreal. It's a mirage. It's an illusion. It's based on something that's unsustainable. And that's another thing that people will say to you. Oh, well, they say the word sustainable. That's a red flag. I don't know. Are you sure? Have you thought about it? Did you use your thinking brain on that one? Because clearly we're poisoning the whole planet. There's a lot of pollution going on, and but no, not climate change. That's not a thing that's happening. But there's we're polluting. There's microplastics, and there's things, and there's bad things that we're doing. But clearly we're doing that. Of course, yeah, that's a problem. But no, not climate change. Not too many people doing too many things all at the same time, consuming too much stuff. That's not a problem either. And if you talk about that, you're crazy. But, Peter Dines is a little closer to reality than most. That's why I read his tweets. People in the global north, here's another one. Keep going. Well, we're going to get the people are hopping in. I think a lot of people are hopping in on Colin because maybe they like the title of the show. We're going to get there. Just chill out. Hold on. Relax. We're talking about other things first. People in the global north have to realize that there's going to need to be a huge reduction in lifestyle and material consumption. Either this is managed and something may be salvaged from the civilization, or current levels continue driving civilization towards collapse. Again, the amount of materials. In fact, if you want to, let's just take pollution. Where's all the pollution coming from? Well, it's coming from the obscene use of materials that we're digging up out of the ground and turning into things and then selling to people and then throwing away into landfills. The entire chain is hell bent on polluting the planet. Again, a child can see this. A young child can actually look at this whole chain, can look at what we're doing from beginning to end of the production cycle on the planet. And there's a children's book. It's called The Lorax. Amazing, brilliant book. That actually describes what we're doing on the planet and why it's so ridiculous, and why what we're doing on the planet is actually the radical thing, the amazingly radical shift in what humans have been doing for centuries. The last 150 years of our existence on the planet is the outlier, not the norm. Unfortunately. I wish it weren't so, but it's true. We'll keep going. Another Peter Dines. Most don't fully understand the impact of flying. Emissions being released that high in the atmosphere have a much more potent climate impact. It triggers chemical reactions, causes atmospheric heating effects. Emissions from flights can warm the atmosphere for centuries. Yep. They sure can. I saw somebody posting about chemtrails earlier, which I'm actually kind of a believer in chemtrails, but we also are spewing emissions into the air, by the rate of thousands of planes in the air at every minute of the day. We're also doing that. That doesn't have any effect on anything. I love how people want to just insist that there's this one thing is the reason for everything, but they want to leave out the other thing that's actually happening too. Oh, no. That would never. Right. It's the chemtrails. That's what's causing climate change. Or you mean thousands of planes in the sky at every second of the day? That's not an issue? Oh, no. Not at all. Okay. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Let's keep going. All right, we're gonna go slowly into weirdness, and probably I don't know when I'm gonna leave YouTube, but probably leave YouTube pretty soon. This is a video of a Tesla that went out of control in China. Again, there are a lot of issues with the Tesla brand. And I actually, why are we, obviously we cannot replace all cars on the planet Earth with electric cars. That's really dumb. But we're allowing these um, seemingly problematic, the flagship for the electric car, thing is exploding, going crazy, going wild, killing people. It's exploding after being exposed to, electric car batteries are exploding after being exposed to floodwaters, salt waters, right? Storm surge. These cars seem to be fairly problematic. So, what to do? Golly gee, what are we going to do? Well, let's watch this video. It's kind of crazy. This car went out of control and killed 2 people. Yeah. I guess there's no sound on this. I thought there was. So it was trying to park, and then now it's going really fast. It's like the pedal, the gas pedal got slammed down to the ground. So it knocks a person off their bike, and now it's going really fast down like very small streets, and bam, hits somebody else. That looks like it killed somebody there, and it smashes into like the side of the street. It's pretty frightening. Extremely frightening. Or he's still steering, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was crazy. There's also it doesn't get talked about much anymore, but the idea that people can actually hack into your Wi-Fi enabled car, right? Your mostly electronic vehicle can be tampered with from outside. But it's, some people know that this is fairly common knowledge that cars are hackable. Newer cars are hackable. All right. Also in China, we're going to stay in China. The Hunan province is under martial law. I guess they're still doing like COVID, zero COVID policy crackdowns. Armed vehicles patrolling the streets and shouting, "Stay at home." This doesn't look fun at all. Well, it's good all those COVID policies work in China. What year is it? What day is it? Seems to be going well over there. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to show this video and I'm going to jump off YouTube. Here's another video of, we've seen these, over time. Quite a few of these. Chinese police drone, stay at home. If you don't follow orders, we will arrest you. It doesn't give the location, I don't think, but I'm assuming this is in the same area. I'm just assuming that's what he's saying, but that looks frightening. Creative Experiment says global pandemics take 3 years to go away, though. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know. Is it really, my question is just because is it actually containing the COVID? But I guess if you have a zero COVID policy, you're just like, we can't have any COVID or something like that. I don't know. All right. Oh, I did get a. I forgot, and I'm sorry that I forgot. I did get a after hours coffee from Emily Peck. Thank you, Emily Peck. I appreciate that. Didn't get any more as of yet today. Checking the Rockfin tips. No tips as of yet. And also, a very good way to support the show is the Cash App, which you see on the screen. All right, I'm going to talk about some other stuff, and I want to feel free to go wherever my mouth will take me. So I'm going to jump off of YouTube. Thank you, YouTubers. You can follow the rest of the show at Rockfin, ROKFIN.com. Free to watch over there or on Callin, which I'm still live on Callin. All right, YouTubers, peace.